wealthy. All right, they got very wealthy. So what they would do is then they stop giving you that much money or interest on your money. So they say, yeah, you can bring your money here, but we're only going to give you 0.1% on your checking or your saving. And they're going to still continue to lend the money out, but they're the one that's going to really make the money. You're no longer going to make the money anymore. So it's worthless really now to put money in the bank to do that. Now, if you want to do your checking account and do things of that nature, that's fine. But as far as making money, you can't make no money off of banks nowadays. You have to go to the next stage, which is investing. And we're going to be talking about that over the next few weeks or so. All right? Myth number two. Myth number two. A penny saved is a penny earned. How many times have you heard that? You remember Ben Franklin said that, right? That's supposed to be one of Ben Franklin's old sayings. Many people believe that scrimping to save and hoarding money will make them wealthy. Not true, says Steve Seaboard, author of How Rich People Think. The real key to wealth is what? Earning the money. You got to earn the money, but we also said that 75% of the wealthiest people in the world said the key to winning at money is getting out of debt and staying out of debt. So when you making money, then you can invest that money, and that money gives you a big return over a period of time, right? It gives you a big return over a period of time. But if you have bills that you got to keep paying out because you put yourself in debt, you will never get wealthy because you're going to be in the same circle over and over and over again. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Praise be to God. All right. If you are making $50,000 per year, it will be nearly impossible to accumulate a large sums of money, even if you save all your extra pennies. It's going to be very difficult because your money is not making money for you. You're making the money and the money's not working for you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm starting to understand that more and more now. People need to stop always looking at the expenses part of their budget. It is usually the shortage of income that gets people into trouble, Cardone says. Those who want to have a large nest egg need to stop thinking in terms of trading time for dollars, which we do. We go to work, we get paid for our work, and that's it. How are you going to get wealthy that way? You can't. Sidebar says, Cardone agrees. He says that many middle-class money woes don't stem from big spending, but not from enough income being generated by members of the household. So if you don't have a whole lot of money, you're going to be very, very limited because maybe of your education, and that you can't get a better paying job. So what you may have to do, you may have to go out and get a part-time job to supplement that income because you not making enough. You hear some people got 2 jobs or 3 jobs because they're trying to pay the bills because they're not making enough on the first job. You see what I'm saying? So you're really never going to get rich out of that because you're not making enough money because you can't. If you don't have enough money, then you can't invest that money so that money can start working for you instead of you working for the money. You understand what I'm saying? The solution is not to cut back on lattes or things that you do, smoking or whatever you do. You do need that because that can save you some money. But in the long run, we have to get a higher paying job. And what that may do entail is that you may have to go back to school and get training in another area. And nowadays, I told a client today that his key to success is once he gets his GED, the next step would be is to get a certification in a specialty career. That way he can demand his price. If you're just going to go to a regular dead-end job, working in a factory or working in a restaurant, you're not going to you're not going to never really move. You have to put yourself in a position so you can get paid for your skills. And that's what it's all about. All right? All right. Let's go to myth number 3. Myth number 3. A home is a good investment. Well, some areas it is. And it's good to own your home, and you ain't got to always be renting and throwing that money out the window because you don't never own nothing. All right. But in contrast, these days in many areas, housing prices are still below the levels seen during the bubble years, in which a lot of people lost out on that because the economy went so low. A lot of people lost out on their mortgages because now what happened was the house is worth less now than it was when it was before because the economy went lower, so they lost money. You see what I'm saying? They can't sell the house for what it's actually worth because nobody's going to pay it because the market don't demand that. You see what I'm saying? So they actually lost money. All right? Then there are increasing costs of property taxes and maintenance. This doesn't mean you should own a home. Just be aware that your house shouldn't be looked at as an investment opportunity. No, it shouldn't be. We know from recent financial crisis that the value of a home can fluctuate dramatically, and that a home is certainly not a foolproof investment, and that is so true. Says Antonucci, and he says the more you borrow to make that investment in a home, the more risk you are taking on, which is true. Which raises the question, should you pay off your mortgage as soon as possible? It depends on whether you plan to live in your home for the rest of your life, says Adam Coos, president of Libertas Wealth Management Group in Dublin, Ohio. If the answer to that question is no, then it doesn't make sense. Okay, plain and simple. That's common sense. It doesn't make sense to pay off the mortgage quickly, he says. The reason you are tying up money in a liquid asset and can't get it back unless you sell your house. He says now if you want to live there for forever, this is your true retirement home. It's okay to pay off pieces of mine's sake. He says, however, one should still weigh the cost of debt versus the rate of return earned on the extra money elsewhere. And that means taking that money and investing somewhere else so that money can start working for you, and then you can make a gain off of it. Okay, that's what that means. All right, myth number 4. Paying with cash is best. Is that the best method? Well, some aspects it is. Some aspects it's not. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Paying in cash or by debit card is always a good strategy, right? After all, if you pay in cash, you can't spend more than you have. That's true. That is true. But you may be missing out on goodies offered by a credit card companies. You can rack up serious reward points if you're a traveler using a credit card, says Coos, who once cashed in points to take his family on a Disney vacation at no cost. That's true if you travel a lot. The key to the strategy is to pay off your credit card balances each month. That way you incur the interest. You see what I'm saying? If you pay it off, you're not paying on interest. It's just like paying, they have a new phase now, just like money or just like cash, 30, 60, 90 days. And you don't get no interest. If you pay within that period of time and you gain no interest. Okay, if you can do it that way, then you gain in the long run, because you don't have the cash liquidate the liquid assets at that time, and you can use your card to do that, and you can pay it off. Then go ahead and do that. All right. If you stay disciplined, the interest earned on low interest paying checks or debit accounts is easily surpassed by the points earned on your credit cards. So you have to, and we're going to talk about this later on, maybe a couple of weeks or so. We're going to talk about credit cards and the purpose and how you can use them and how it can be gained, how it can be used for your advantage instead of being at a disadvantage when you use them. Okay, once you understand the principles and if you're disciplined on how to use them, it can benefit you in the long run. All right, and then now we're going to get down to the last one. Myth number 5. Invest in what you know. We're going to talk about investments over. I was looking at some things today. We're going to talk about RAs. We're going to be talking about savings versus investments. All that stuff we're going to talk about, but you got to know what you're doing. And if you don't, go ask somebody. That's like I said before. There's the internet for you. We're living in an information age, so use those things to your advantage. All right. It's always a good idea to understand the basics of what you're investing in, but putting too big a chunk of your portfolio into something you're familiar with can be risky and ultimately self-defeating. If you don't know, don't mess around until you get and talk to somebody. All right. Anatoly says it's not unusual for clients to want to put their money in the industry they work in. The thinking seems sound. I spend every day in this industry. I know it's doing great, and I expect that to continue. So let's put my money there. But the reality can be quite different. Okay, if you don't understand the market, don't put your money in there because you may lose it all. All right, so you got to be wise as well. Seek out those that have already know the market and dealing with these things, a financial planner, to help you to understand what's going on and what's your risk tolerance and what's going to be best for your situation. Because everybody's situation is different. All right, and you got to understand that. If your job is in the healthcare and the healthcare industry is under pressure in general, then there's additional risk that your investment portfolio can also be going down at a time where you may lose your job, Anatoly says. So, basically, what we talked about today, and I think this is a very powerful lesson about the myths of money. We have to understand the basics of what money is for. It's to bless others. Not the myth of that if we hoard and hold on to stuff like that, that's what it's all about. No, it's not about that. It's about giving. And people don't tell you about when it comes to money. All right? We have to be givers. We have to be givers. Not concentrate on me, myself, and I, because that's not going to benefit you. It's not that, and that's not going to benefit the giving glory and honor to God and add it on to his kingdom. All right. So we understand what the myth about money. All right. I hope that y'all got something out of this. We talked about stewardship today. I think it was very powerful. Why do we have to give? As well as believers, what is our job? And then we talked about, lastly, the 5 myths of money. And we talked about, and I'll go over those few things one more time. Banks are the best place for money. We talked about that. A penny saved is a penny earned. Don't be a hoarder. It's certain, but you got to learn how to use what you have for the glory of Him, because as you bless, He shall bring blessings back to you as well. All right. Number 3, a home is a good investment. 4, paying with cash is the best way to go. Not always. And then invest in what you know. All right. Praise be to God. Well, we hope that you have enjoyed the broadcast today. It's been a powerful broadcast about money, and we're going to continue down the road of financial freedom. We'll come back next week with another power pack message dealing with the financial freedom series. We'll be dealing with part 5. I don't know how many parts we're going to have in this. I don't know yet at this point. Whatever God tells me to do, maybe 10 and maybe 15. I don't know, but there are some principles that we will touch on that you need to know. And that you deal with on an everyday basis. So we're going to touch on generally on those things so you can get a full picture of financial freedom and how to deal with your finances and how to be debt free. And hopefully these series, once we are done, you can share those with others. And those that have already listened to the broadcast, share this with somebody else, with your friends, your family. Become a subscriber to our broadcast. All right, we got over 400 videos on our YouTube broadcast under the Men of Simplified Delos, one word. And hopefully these broadcasts will help you to be stronger in your finances and get out of debt and stay out of debt. All right? Praise be to God. Well, as our brothers would say all the time, it's not what happens to you that matters. It's but how you react to what happens to you. That's the key to success in life. Finally, the secret is out. Even strong men struggle. Praise be to God. We love you. We look forward to seeing you next time here on the Trauma Net for Men. We'll see you next time. God bless.